My husband walked in on me at a hotel while I was hooking up with my ex and his brother. I was wearing the necklace that used to belong to his late sister. He recorded everything, then used the necklace to strangle me. He beat both of them badly, handed me divorce papers, and disappeared from my life completely. I'm writing this from a small apartment that smells musty and hopeless. 6 months ago, I was a clinical trial coordinator in the pharmaceutical industry, earning a 6-figure salary. I had a lovely home, a husband D, who adored me, and parents who proudly shared stories about their successful daughter with anyone who would listen. Now, I work stocking shelves at a 24-hour pharmacy for $12 an hour. The irony isn't lost on me, but I need to share this story, not for sympathy. I don't deserve any. I want to tell it because maybe someone will read this and avoid making the same disastrous choice I did. Perhaps they will notice the signs of their own self-destruction before it's too late. It all began 18 months ago when D's sister passed away. She was a pediatric hospice nurse, dedicating her life to comforting dying children and their families. The kind of person who made you believe in goodness. She suffered a brain aneurysm at just 28. One moment she was laughing over dinner, and the next she was gone. D was shattered. I had never seen him cry before that night. This man, who investigated fraud for federal cases and could intimidate CEOs into confessing to large-scale embezzlement, sobbed in my arms like a child. She left him her necklace, a simple silver chain with a small compass pendant, as a reminder to never lose his way. He couldn't bear to look at it, so I began wearing it, saying it made me feel like she was still with us. He would sometimes touch it when we lay in bed, and I could feel him relax. I thought I was helping. Maybe I was at first, but somewhere along the way, I started to feel empty. D threw himself into work, working 60 to 70-hour weeks. He would come home, kiss me mechanically, eat whatever I had ordered, and then disappear into his office. We hadn't been intimate in 4 months, and our conversations were limited to logistics. I felt like a ghost in my own marriage. Then I texted my ex, the yacht captain who had made me feel alive in my 20s, who had taken me on midnight sails, who had made every moment feel like an adventure until I discovered him with a client's wife and realized our definitions of adventure were worlds apart. I saw his LinkedIn profile, pharma executive. I always knew you'd make it big. I should have blocked him, shown D, or done anything except reply, but I felt so numb, and that text made me feel something. One text turned into 10, and those 10 became daily conversations. He was docked just 40 minutes away. His brother was visiting, an underground fighter trying to make it big. Did I want to grab a drink just as friends? D was in DC for a case, so I said yes. 1 drink turned into 3. His brother was exactly what you would expect, muscle and bravado, accidentally touching my arm, telling me how I never stopped talking about me. I was playing with my hair, reminiscing about old times, wearing the necklace and feeling its weight against my throat. For the first time in months, I felt desired. I have to go, I said. 1 more drink at my hotel, or asked for old times' sake. I knew what he was really asking, and God help me, I wanted it. I craved to feel something other than the crushing emptiness that had consumed me. I told D I was staying at my assistant's place after a girls' night out, booked the hotel room under a fake name, turned off my location, and wore the necklace. Maybe to feel close to something good while doing something terrible. The hotel room was exactly what you'd expect from that kind of decision. R's brother was already drunk, repeatedly saying how lucky R was to have had me first. R was playing the romantic card, candles and everything, like this was some beautiful reunion instead of what it truly was, me destroying everything good in my life for a few hours of feeling wanted. I won't describe the details. You can imagine what happened. The necklace bounced against my chest with each movement, catching the light. Then the door opened, just opened, not kicked in or slammed, as if he had a key card. D stood there in his charcoal suit, the one I had bought him for his birthday. His face was completely calm, devoid of rage or tears. Just nothing, as if he were documenting another crime scene. He raised his phone and began recording. R scrambled for his clothes, and I froze, still in the act, his hands in my hair. I opened my mouth to speak, but D just said, "Don't." 1 word, quiet and final. He filmed for about 30 seconds, capturing everything. My face, their faces, the positioning, the necklace glinting at my throat. Then he set the phone down on the dresser, carefully, making sure it recorded everything that would happen next. He approached me with the same measured steps he used in court, and I thought he might hit me. Part of me wanted him to. At least that would be emotion. Instead, he grabbed the necklace and twisted it tightly around my throat, not just controlling but choking me. The chain dug into my skin, cutting off my air, the pendant pressing painfully against my throat. "You don't deserve to wear her name," he said, his voice calm and matter-of-fact, as if he were presenting evidence in court while strangling me with his dead sister's memory. I clawed at his hands, gasping for breath, while R and his brother stood there frozen, probably thinking they were next. D held the necklace for about 10 seconds. Long enough for me to see spots, long enough for me to realize this wasn't about passion or rage. It was about punishment, calculated, deliberate. Then he let go. I collapsed, gasping, the necklace still burning against my throat. D turned to them, and what happened next was brutal. R went down first. D yanked him off the bed by the hair and drove his knee into his face. The crack of R's nose breaking was loud enough to make me flinch. Blood exploded everywhere, on the sheets, the wall, R's bare chest. He tried to scream, but D's fist was already in his stomach, doubling him over. Then an elbow to the back of the head sent him face first into the nightstand. The brother, the underground fighter who'd been bragging about his record all night, lasted maybe 5 seconds longer. He tried to throw a punch, but telegraphed it like an amateur. D caught his wrist, twisted it until I heard something pop, then used the guy's own momentum to slam him into the wall. His face left a bloody smear on the ugly hotel wallpaper. But D wasn't done, not even close. He kicked her in the ribs while he tried to crawl to the bathroom, each kick deliberate, placed for maximum damage. R was sobbing, begging, "Please, man, we're sorry. We didn't know she was." D silenced him with a boot to the jaw, teeth scattering across the carpet like broken pearls. The brother tried to get up, swinging wildly. D let him miss, then grabbed him by the throat, just like he had done to me, and drove him backward into the mirror. It shattered, glass flying everywhere. The brother dropped, blood pouring from a dozen cuts. D showed no emotion, no yelling, no heavy breathing, just cold, systematic destruction. He stomped on R's hand until fingers bent the wrong way, drove his knee into the brother's already broken ribs. When R tried to protect his face, D kicked him in the kidneys. When the brother curled into a ball, D grabbed his hair and bounced his head off the floor. The violence was methodical, surgical. Every hit designed to inflict maximum pain without killing them. R was crying, choking on his own blood and teeth. The brother was making wet, wheezing sounds, his tough guy act completely shattered along with his nose. Both of them were naked, bleeding, broken, and pathetic. When they were both unconscious, or close enough, D stopped. Not a hair out of place except for some blood on his shoes. He walked calmly to the dresser, picked up his phone, and made sure he had captured everything. The beating, them naked, and me cowering on the bed, still holding my throat where he choked me. Then he pulled out a manila folder from inside his suit jacket and tossed it on the bed next to me. Divorce papers, already signed, dated a week ago. He looked at me one last time, really looked at me, like I was already a ghost, already erased. Then he left. No words, no dramatic exit, just gone. I sat there, naked, bruised, throat aching, listening to her choking on his own blood, the brother making horrible breathing sounds. The necklace felt like it was burning into my skin where he had used it to strangle me. My throat was already swelling, purple bruises in the shape of chain links. The hotel called the ambulance. I don't remember dialing. I had a fractured orbital bone, broken ribs for missing teeth, and internal bleeding. R, the professional fighter, had a shattered nose, fractured jaw, 3 broken ribs, severe concussion, and needed 40 stitches from the mirror. Both of us were hospitalized for over a week. I had bruises around my neck for 3 weeks and wore scarves to hide them. Not that it mattered. Everyone had seen the video by then, including the part where my husband choked me with his sister's necklace while I was naked with 2 other men. The perfect proof of exactly what I was, what I had become, what I deserved. But that wasn't the worst part. D sent the video to everyone, and I mean everyone. My father, a federal immigration judge, received it during a recess. His clerk told me later that he watched it once, closed his laptop, and finished the day's cases without a hint of emotion. Then he went home and burned every photo of me. My mother, who conducted the Chicago Symphony, found it in her inbox during intermission. She hasn't spoken to me since. My company's board of directors, my entire department, even the janitor probably received a copy. HR called me before I even left the hotel. "Don't bother coming back. Security will have your things boxed." D's family got it too, his mother, who had treated me like a daughter, his brother, who had been my friend before I married D, every cousin, aunt, and uncle. The comments ranged from death threats to "you're dead to us" messages. But the most brutal cut came when he sent it to every professional contact in my field. Every CEO whose trials I had managed, every doctor I had worked with, every regulatory official. My career didn't just end. It was scorched earth. No pharmaceutical company would touch me. I was radioactive. R and his brother attempted to press charges for assault. D's lawyer, apparently he had won on retainer for weeks, countered with extortion and alienation of affection charges, presenting evidence that they had targeted me specifically because of my position and income, including text messages I didn't even know they had, with the brother discussing getting a piece of that pharma money. They dropped the charges and disappeared. Last I heard, R lost his captain's license after the yacht company saw the video. His brother can't fight anymore. Something about his jaw never healing correctly. As for me, I lived in my car for 3 weeks. My parents wouldn't take my calls. My friends, both the real ones and the fair weather ones, wanted nothing to do with me. I had become poison. On day 23, I attempted to take my own life with pills. Ironically, after all those years managing clinical trials, I should have known better. I woke up in the hospital with my stomach pumped and a 72-hour hold. No visitors, just me and the fluorescent lights and the knowledge that I had destroyed everything for one night of feeling wanted by men who didn't care about me. The divorce went through in record time. The infidelity clause meant I got nothing. 7 years of marriage dissolved in paperwork, as cold as his final look. The house, the cars, the savings, all his. I didn't fight it. What was the point? I see a therapist now twice a week, which I can barely afford. She says I have self-destructive tendencies rooted in childhood trauma, that the numbness after his sister's death was depression, and that I chose the nuclear option because some part of me felt I didn't deserve happiness. Maybe she's right. Maybe it's all nonsense. I traded a man who loved me for 2 who saw me as a conquest, and now I'm stocking pills at 3 a.m. for minimum wage plus $1. I still have nightmares about that necklace, the weight of it, his sister's compass pointing nowhere. Update. 2 weeks later, I didn't expect this to blow up. I didn't expect anything, really, just needed to get it out. But since some of you asked for updates, I'm living in a studio now. 1 room, bathroom with mold I can't afford to fix, a hot plate for cooking. It's in a building where you don't ask your neighbors questions, and they return the favor. The pharmacy job barely covers rent, and I've applied to over 200 jobs. The video follows me everywhere. Someone found R's Instagram. He's in Mexico now, working on some rich guy's fishing boat, and posted a photo with a black eye. The comments were brutal. Before he went private, his brother deleted all social media. Someone said he's washing dishes in Florida, jaw still wired. D got promoted to senior forensic accountant for the FBI. Funny how destroying your cheating wife's life looks good on a federal resume. His LinkedIn says he specializes in comprehensive fraud investigation and evidence compilation. The irony would be funny if it weren't my life. My father issued a statement. That's how I found out. Not a call, not a letter, an effing statement, as if I were some political scandal he needed to distance himself from. The actions depicted do not reflect the values of our family. We consider the matter closed. My mother was simpler. She changed her emergency contact at the symphony. I used to be her first call, now it's her sister. But the worst part, last week, I was restocking shelves when a woman came in, professional, put together, buying prenatal vitamins. She was wearing the necklace, his sister's compass necklace, around her neck. I threw up in the employee bathroom and cried until my manager threatened to dock my pay. She's pregnant. Dee's new wife is pregnant with a baby I never gave him because I was too focused on my career. They got married last month, 3 months after our divorce. He gave her his dead sister's necklace, the one I contaminated, the one he pulled off my throat while I was naked with other men. She wears it like it was always meant for her. I visited his sister's grave that night, the first time since the funeral. I sat there in the dark, trying to apologize to a headstone. Security found me at dawn, thinking I was drunk. I wasn't, just broken. I'm sorry I ruined it, I told her grave. I'm sorry I took your memory and made it dirty. The compass points north. I went south in every possible way. Update, 1 month later, R is dead. I found out from a news article someone sent me. American yacht captain dies in Mexico bar fight, stabbed 3 times over a drug deal gone bad. The details are sketchy, but apparently, he was trying to make extra money moving products for the boat owner. I felt nothing, no sadness, no relief, just nothing. The man I destroyed my life for died in a dirty bar bathroom, bleeding out on stained tile, and I felt absolutely nothing. His brother called me. I don't know how he got my number. I could barely understand him through his wired jaw. "This is your fault," he said. "We were doing fine before you." Maybe he's right, or maybe they were always heading for this. Either way, R is dead, and I'm still here, which feels like its own kind of punishment. Dee's wife had the baby, a girl they named after his sister. I found out through a mutual friend who took pity on me, sending one photo before blocking me again. Dee holding his daughter, his wife wearing that necklace, both glowing with the kind of happiness I used to have. He looks at her the way he used to look at me before I killed that part of him. I'm in therapy 3 times a week now, found a sliding scale clinic. The therapist is young, probably fresh out of school, but she listens. I have complicated grief on top of everything else, I told her. Grieving the marriage, the life, the person I used to be, the person I could have been. "You made a catastrophic choice," she said last week, "but you're not required to be that person forever." I wanted to laugh. Tell that to Google. Tell that to every job that runs a background check. Tell that to the parents who pretend I died rather than acknowledge what I became. But I didn't laugh because what else do I have but the hope that maybe someday I'll be more than the worst thing I ever did? I started AA last week. Not because I'm an alcoholic, but because it's free therapy with people who understand rock bottom. The first step is admitting you're powerless. I was powerless the moment I responded to R's text. I just didn't know it yet. Update. 3 months later, I got a different job, veterinary assistant at an emergency animal clinic, working nights and weekends, cleaning up messes and vomit. But the animals don't judge. They don't know what I did. They're just scared and hurting and need someone gentle. I'm good at it. It turns out managing clinical trials prepares you for chaos and bodily fluids. The vet likes me, says I have steady hands that once held a career, a marriage, a future. My parents still won't speak to me. I sent my father a birthday card. It came back unopened. My mother's symphony is performing next month. I thought about going, sitting in the back just to see her. Then I remembered the video and realized I can't ever be in the same room with anyone who knew me before. Dee's daughter is thriving. I know because his wife has a public Instagram. She documents everything. First smile, first laugh, first time grabbing the compass necklace around her mother's neck. Every photo is a knife, but I can't stop looking. He's a good father, gentle and present. The way he would have been with our children if I hadn't chosen 3 hours of validation over a lifetime of love. R's brother reached out again. He's in therapy too. He says the trauma therapist thinks he has PTSD from that night. Not from the beating, but from the sound Dee made when he hit him, or rather the sound he didn't make, the silence of calculated rage. I wake up sometimes thinking he's in the room, just standing there recording. I know the feeling. We don't talk about R. What's the point? He's ashes scattered in Mexican waters, probably mixed with drug residue and tourist waste. The yacht captain who was going to give me adventure gave me nothing but regret. I saw my reflection in a car window yesterday. 30 years old, looking 40, gray streaks in my hair. I can't afford to die, hollow eyes, the kind of face that's lived through something. But I'm alive, that's something. The animals at the clinic don't care what I look like. They just need someone to hold them while they heal. Maybe that's enough for now. Update. 6 months later, this will be my last update. I'm leaving. Not in the way I tried before, no pills, no dramatic gesture. Just leaving. I got accepted into a veterinary technician program in a state where nobody knows me. Financial aid and everything. It turns out destroying your life makes you eligible for all kinds of poverty programs. But first, I need to tell you what happened last week. I was working a night shift when they brought in a dog hit by a car, bleeding badly. Probably wouldn't make it. The owner was hysterical, a woman about my age, designer clothes, perfect makeup ruined by tears. It was Dee's wife. She didn't recognize me at first. How could she? I'm not the woman from the video anymore. I'm something else now, hardened, quieter, someone who knows what rock bottom tastes like. I helped stabilize her dog, held its paw while the vet worked, kept it calm, professional, distant. Everything I should have been 2 years ago. The dog survived. When she finally looked at me, really looked, I saw the recognition hit, the slight step back, her hand instinctively moving to the necklace at her throat. "Thank you," she said finally, quiet, careful. "Just doing my job." She studied me for a long moment. This woman living my life, raising the child I never had, wearing the necklace I defiled. "He doesn't talk about you," she said, "but sometimes he wakes up angry, Not at me, just angry. I could have said so many things. Could have apologized, could have explained, could have begged her to give him some message. Instead, I just nodded. The dog needs rest. The front desk has the discharge papers. She left with her dog and her husband's ghosts. That night, I applied to the program, filled out every form, wrote essays about second chances and redemption. Probably nonsense, but sincere nonsense. I got in. I start next month. 2 years of school, then a lifetime of healing things instead of destroying them. R is still dead. His brother is apparently teaching kids boxing classes now. He can't fight anymore, but can teach. My parents still won't acknowledge I exist. D and his wife just had their second child, a boy named after his father. And me? I'm learning that sometimes the best thing you can do with a burned bridge is stop standing at the edge, staring at the ashes. My therapist says I'm making progress, that accepting consequences is different from drowning in them, that building something new doesn't erase the old. But maybe it balances the scales a little. I don't know if I believe her, but I'm going to try. Tomorrow, I leave for a place where nobody knows what I did, where I can be the woman who saves animals instead of the woman who destroyed a marriage, where I can wake up without checking Instagram for glimpses of the life I threw away. But tonight, I'm writing this final update for everyone who called me names. You were right. For everyone who said I deserved worse, you were probably right too. For the few who said people can change, I hope you're right. Most of all, I kept one thing from my old life, a photo of Dee's sister. Not with Dee, not with me. Just her smiling at some hospital Christmas party, surrounded by sick kids she was helping. The kind of person who made the world better just by being in it. I look at it sometimes and wonder what she'd think of all this. If she'd hate me for what I did with her memory, or if maybe, just maybe, she'd understand that sometimes people break, and sometimes they try to put themselves back together, and sometimes that has to be enough. The compass pointed north, I went south. Now, I'm going west, to somewhere new, to try to become someone who deserves to wake up tomorrow. It's not redemption, it's not forgiveness, it's just the next day, and the next, and the next, living with what I did, living despite what I did living. Final edit. For those asking why I shared this, I don't know, maybe confession, maybe warning, maybe just the need to be seen as more than the worst thing I ever did. I was a woman who had everything and threw it away for nothing. Now, I'm a woman who has nothing and is trying to build something. Not inspirational, not a redemption arc, just the truth of what happens after you detonate your life. D, if you ever read this, I'm sorry. Not the weak, manipulative sorry I would have said before, but the kind that comes from understanding exactly what I took from you, what I took from us, what I took from the future we should have had. I loved you. I just loved myself more, and that self-love was so broken, so twisted, that it looked like destruction. You did what you had to do. You scorched the earth so nothing could grow there again. I understand. I would have done the same. Your daughter is beautiful. Your son will be strong. Your wife seems kind, and the necklace found its true north. As for me, I'm just another cautionary tale on the internet. Another person who had it all and lost it for a moment of feeling special. But I'm also still here, still breathing, still trying. That has to count for something, even if it's not enough. It has to count for something. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.